It's been almost a decade, if not right at a decade, since Star Trek Beyond, and the final chapter, Part 4, has been in limbo forever. We've heard rumors, we've heard writers have come and gone, we've heard the time travel plot that everybody has memed up, but what's actually real? Is this movie actually going to happen for Trek fans? Me personally, been a fan my entire life, and I did a video up about this about a month ago, and you guys absolutely fired off in the comments. So many takes, so many opinions on what they should do with the Kelvin crew, what they should not do. Will this happen? Will it not? We're going to cover everything today. All the confirmations, the rumors, when we could actually see this, and in the second half of the video, we're going to talk about the biggest plot twist that they're teasing now. So drop a like, make sure you guys are subscribed. Welcome to the channel, Jimmy or Chaos, and remember, I read every single comment on every single video. Let's dive in. So first off, let's jump into the history, because Star Trek 4 has been stuck in development purgatory. We know that, remember. It was announced back, I think, 2016, and it was announced as the final chapter for Chris Pine's Kirk and Company. But since then, well, the project has gone through so many different creative teams. It's almost, well, it's sad and funny at the same time. First, there was Noah Hawley, then S.J. Clarkson, then even Quentin Tarantino pitched this wild R-rated gang story, which never materialized, but it would have been really interesting to see what actually happened there. Most recently, in 2021, Matt Shakman was attached to direct. You had Lindsay Beer and Geneva Robertson writing a script. Shakman says that by summer 2022, they literally had stages built and crew hired. They were gearing up to shoot. They were spending money, only for everything to collapse at the last second. He says they had to let the crew go and tear down the stages when the project suddenly changed direction, which to me, that's wild. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. Whoever's in control or whoever the creative team is that actually makes the decisions, somebody dropped the ball in a big time. To have stages built, crew hired, ready to go, ready to shoot? Come on. This is such a beloved franchise. You have to take care of it. Basically, every few months, there's this big shakeup. Actors leaving over pay, new scripts being drafted, new release dates set, then they're postponed. Example, an early plan would have had Kirk literally time travel back, meet his dad, George Kirk, Chris Hemsworth, but then that fell apart around 2018 due to salary disputes. Then there was talk of a summer 2023 release that never came. Short, this movie's development has been more chaotic than, not trying to be funny here, but Klingon bar brawl. Let's be real. And then again, I really get pissed off when I see fell apart due to salary disputes. I know it's about money, and I know it's careers, and I know these companies want to make money, but at the end of the day, trying to service the fans. But yeah, that's coming from a fan. Anyway, so what's the current status right now, 2025? Well, it's the Steve Yockey update. The big official news as of 2024 is that Paramount has brought on Steve Yockey, the creator of The Flight Attendant, to write a brand new script. Variety even reported in March of 2024 that Yockey is penning Star Trek, which they are still calling the final chapter of the Kelvin timeline saga. Now, we know there were other drafts by Beer and Geneva, but Yockey is apparently now steering, flying, whatever the shit. So yes, apparently, a new script is being written as we speak, or it's already been written. We don't know any plot details yet, but insiders say the new draft is leaning into that old time travel idea, which I know a lot of you are about, and I know just as many of you equally are tired of. Yockey taking over to me is great news. It means Paramount isn't dead, and they're not dead set on walking away from the story. It's worth noting that work on Star Trek 4 even paused when Paramount and Skydance announced this merger in 2023. That corporate shuffle seems to have been a big catalyst on what delayed everything. Now, you can't do this without the cast. You really can't. Every main Kelvin era actor is reportedly willing to return. That's big. I mean, Zoe Saldana Uhura has been publicly hoping they do it sooner rather than later, joking she and the cast are getting gray hairs and they need to wrap it up while they can. She's joking, but it's actually the truth. Zachary Quinto, Spock, a really good Spock, chimed in, said there's no cutoff on making the movie, pointing out the original cast, even Shatner, did films into their 50s and 60s. He says he'd love to reprise Spock from a new perspective if the time was right. Then, of course, you don't do that. This movie doesn't happen without Chris Pine. I mean, he's even been more blunt. He's frustrated by the delays, and when news broke of a new writer, Pine said he thought a script already existed, so clearly one hasn't materialized yet. And last year, he admitted the franchise felt almost cursed after Star Trek Beyond, and then it underperformed. And of course, the tragic death of Anton Yelchin. I mean, in interviews, Pine said he's just waiting to see what Paramount does, and he has no hidden info. Behind the scenes, even producer J.J. Abrams has said all the stars are still on board in talks. Pine, Quinto, Saldana, Urban, Peg, Cho, all of them. Even Simon Pegg, Scotty, publicly praised a new studio head David Ellison as a big Trek fan who wants to get it done. Pegg said on stage, "I know he cares about the series, and I would love it. I would be delighted if we could make one more film." He said, "I think it's about time." So the good news is the cast is there, and even some producers seem on board and ready to go. Now, here's where it gets pretty interesting. The persistent story leak that has kind of dogged the project for years is the time travel father plot. So back in 2016, J.J. Abrams himself said the fourth film would reunite Kirk with his dad, George Kirk, and that pitch fizzled out 2 years later. But many insiders, including former director Shackman, said the core idea remains on the table. In fact, the Wrap noted that a draft was written where James T. Kirk travels back in time and teams up with his father. So if true, I mean, that's a big payoff. Brings Kirk face to face with his sacrifice-making dad. I mean, the first 5 minutes of the first Star Trek were amazing. I mean, Chris Hemsworth knocked it out of the park. Fans have gone nuts both ways, saying, "I would like that. I wouldn't." Some say that Star Trek IV Voyaging Home with whales or dolphins, even stealing a nod from the beloved Voyage Home movie, crossovers, Strange New Worlds. I mean, yes, a lot of these ideas have been done and hammered home over and over. Time travel being the most. Others wonder if it could revisit the Kelvin timeline's origin events. The point is, time travel is a big rumor, and I would go as far to guess that it's probably going to happen. It's the one story many think explains why it's been stuck. It's ambitious, but it's also costly. If Paramount really is writing the final chapter, I think this is it. And one sign that shows that is in July of 2025, in a Variety interview, Shackman said he's keeping the details of his canceled version secret, but he told Variety, "The core idea, I think, remains the same. I really hope I get a chance to make that movie." That suggests even after all these reboots, the father-son idea might resurface because it's not a secret. We know what it was. We'll have to see. If Kirk does end up time traveling, I think it could be an epic finale, or it might be exactly why the movie's been so hard to make. I think it could be a good payoff. I know it's been done 1,000 times over, but what other way do they go? You guys let me know in the comment section. Now, of course, I mean, Paramount knows this is a big franchise. I mean, they've got other stuff going on, but nothing really builds up the momentum like the movie. I mean, the big screen is where people want to see at least this chapter done. I mean, additionally, Paramount has actually announced another Trek film, a prequel origin story setting decades before the 2009 movie. Director Toby Haynes from Andor is attached, which is huge, and Seth Grahame-Smith, who wrote Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, awesome movie by the way, is scripting. So this would be a Trek Origins film, and it was revealed at CinemaCon 2024. Production is reportedly set to begin, or was set to begin at the beginning of this year. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's still on the docket or not, but it would be interesting. I look at this the same way I look at Star Wars. I'll digest anything you give me. I want it to be great. I want the story to be great, but I just don't want these franchises to die and go dormant because I was raised off of these franchises. So I'm hoping that all works out for all the fans. And I won't lie, it's a mixed bag of feelings right now. On one hand, fans are excited at any scrap of news, me personally, and they dream of seeing Kirk and the crew together one last time, me again. On the other hand, I know there's frustration, the jokes. I mean, Star Trek V, the search for more Trek. I get it. Memes about whales and dolphins. I understand. It's been years. Maybe it's never going to happen. And others say they believe in the hype, which I know you guys are going to comment how you feel about it. And I know some of you are wondering whether we should give up on it. And my take is, I'm hopeful and realistic. The news suggests Paramount wants to wrap up the Kelvin trilogy, calling it the final chapter. The cast is in, we've already talked about. The studio is clearly investing in alternate projects. I think it's going to happen. I think it might take a bit longer, probably a couple years from now, but I do think we'll end up at the movie theaters watching it. So you guys let me know what you think. In the last video, we talked about this. You guys popped off. I'll see you soon.